A warm welcome to you all joined in today. I'd like to introduce our speaker, Mr. Jayaraj Kalirajan. Mr. Kalirajan is a Senior Energy Associate of the Sustainability Division of Green Tree Building Energy Private Limited. He has more than 5 years of experience in the field and leads the team of electrical, environmental, and mechanical engineers doing green building projects in India. Mr. Kalirajan has a bachelor's in mechanical engineering and a master's in energy engineering. I welcome you, Mr. Kalirajan.
Yeah, thank you, Donna. So, good evening, all. So, starting with the session. So, energy simulation and analysis. So, in this session, we are going to cover two things. One is the theoretical side and the practical side as well. Practical in the sense the software view. So, starting with the theoretical, like we'll be going through the various type of PPTs in which all the factors which are affecting the building energy performances, like whatever may be the envelope properties, the electrical properties, or the HVAC properties. And the second thing is the practical thing. So in which a software, obviously the Equist will be need to install in your systems, and there will be a practical session on the some demo building. So you will be given a building, and we'll be modeling the building as per the real time, and we can analyze the results as well. So main thing is like we are not going to just input the parameters whatever is proposed. We are also going to analyze the results. That is how to optimize the energy performance of a building. Okay, fine. So starting with the course modules. First lecture will be on the building physics, and second one will be on the envelope and electrical inputs. So envelope means the wall, roof, and the glazing part, and the electrical inputs would be the lighting and other electrical equipments, and the main which is contributing in the building HVAC system, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, and finally the equus simulation. So our course plan, we have planned in such a way like first theoretical session will be there, and then model will be given. In that we have to implement whatever we have discussed in the theory, and then again the next step of envelope properties, discussing on that, and then again we'll be implementing those parameters in the simulation. So like this our course have been planned. So moving on to first session, which is the building physics. So in building physics, basically what we are going to see is like the performance of the building in terms of thermal comfort, and which are the factors which is affecting the occupant. So in this, majorly what we are going to discuss is like the external and the internal factors. So external means the temperature, relative humidity, which are in the outside climate zones. So in terms of this climate zones, for example, if you are taking Indian situation, so there is hot and dry, temperate, cold, and warm and humid. So if and then the composite comes into the picture, in which both the weather season, like it will be including the hot and dry, warm and humid, and cold. So that's how the composite came into the climate zone, and we are living in this composite zone only. So we are going to identify a building in this composite zone, and we are going to do the energy performance. So these are the external factors, and if you see into the internal factors, so this obviously the human occupancy, the lighting load which is inside the building, then the equipment load. So here we'll be using a term LPD, UPD. So we'll just go through one by one. So in building physics, so mainly we are concentrating on the thermal comfort. So obviously, ASHRAE comes into this picture. So both naturally ventilated and this forced ventilated building, both will be having an ASHRAE standards. So according to that, we are going to meet the thermal comfort of the building. So this is about the building physics, in which basic thermodynamics will be covered. So it will be giving a basic idea to proceed with the energy simulation of the building. And next, moving on to envelope and the electrical inputs. So envelope is nothing but the wall, roof, and the glazing properties. and electrical, as I told, is the lighting and the equipment load. So in detail, if you want to discuss on that, so envelope properties. So this property plays a major role in defining the heat load of a building. So if there is a room, so what capacity of cooling is required, so that will be decided based on the envelope of the building. So in which we have to calculate U value for the materials. So in that, first we have to know the thermal properties of the material. So if you take each type of materials, so every material is having their own thermal conductivity value, what they will be telling us the K value. So this K value will remains constant for all the materials. So in this K value, we are going to find out the U value, in which the thickness of the material will play the role in defining the U value. So this thickness will be, we have to vary this thickness to play with the U values. So so in terms of this U value, so it is nothing but the thermal conductance. So U value is the reciprocal of the resistance. So resistance is the calculation which is done in the formula like T by K. T in the sense the thickness and K in the sense the thermal conductivity. So as you play with the thickness, you can bring down the U value. So this sample calculations we'll look into this deeper in the lecture 2. So apart from this U value calculation, so wall and roof, these both parameters, this both envelope property will be depending on this U value. Plus additionally, there is a glazing property in which there is 3 property dominates: U value, SHGC and VLT. So SHGC is nothing but the solar heat gain coefficient, and VLT is the visible light transmittance. So U value, as I told, same is the thermal conductance of the glass, and SHGC is the solar heat gain coefficient in which direct sunlight is coming, and it will be determined in the whole number. And VLT is the how much is the daylight which is entering the glass. So these are the envelope properties which we need to define in the simulation as well to get a better performance in the building. And apart from envelope, we are going to study on the electrical session as well. So if you come to electrical, as I told, there is 2 things. One is the lighting and equipments. So lighting power density, which is the unit, which is having the unit of watt per meter square. So wattage is how much is the total lighting fixtures fixed in a room, and divided by how much is the area of a room. So this gives the lighting power density. So this will be directly entered in the simulation for calculating the heat load plus the consumption of the lighting. And next, coming to the equipment power density, this one is the how much if, for example, a residential we are going to model, then what would be the watt per meter square in terms of fan, another fridge, washing machine, what are the equipments. So there is no defined value for these items. That is why the standards we will be using ASHRAE and ECBC standards, in which they have a standard like every building should have at least 25% of the equipment power density. So this is just a benchmark which they are setting, in which a building will be having a 25% overall if we compare. So that will be equipment load. And additionally, apart from this envelope, after finishing this envelope and equipment density part, so we can work out the optimization of these things. So how to optimize things? So for example, in terms of this lighting power density, so this one will be derived from the lux level which is needed in the room. So as per the NBC norms, so if it's office area, it should be within 200 to 400 lux. So based on that, the lighting fixture will be decided. Then ultimately the lighting power density will be derived. So in that case, ECBC and ASHRAE is also having their own standards, in which for office area, there is a maximum limit in which you can tell 10 watt per meter square. So we can cross verify our LPD value, which is within the limit. and we can proceed with the optimizing the energy performance of that building, whichever we are modeling. So like it's only for the lighting. So in this envelope also we have various options. For example, in roof, so you have calculated a U value based on roof RCC material, for example. So how to optimize this U value? So if you are putting some thickness over that, so it will be having a certain thickness and the thermal conductivity. So that will make our U value to bring down the U value. So this also an optimization options. So this envelope and electrical both will be seeing in detail for the optimization once we start a simulation for this model. Okay, and next one is the HVAC part, which is a very important part in this ECOS simulation. So in this HVAC, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. So for example, like if a building is there, so conduct energy performance of a building. If suppose a building is without any HVAC system, like let us assume a natural ventilated building, a residential building. So for that, no need of any simulation to just directly multiply the connected load into number of hours. You'll be directly getting the energy consumption. So, but in forced ventilation, in terms of if you're using the AC system, VRF system, or any split system, so in that case, you can't determine how much is the consumption you can expect for a building. So that to work out that, mainly the ECOS has been derived, and that is the main motive of creating the ECOS such type of software to give the end result. So also ECOS does not give any optimized performance, like a building has given a, suppose we are given an input for a ECOS by modeling some 3 floors or 4 floors building. It will not give a optimized solution like this. Like this, if you put, you will get an output like EPI, like it will be reduced. EPI in the sense energy performance index. It will be derived in the units kilowatt hour per meter squared per year. So ultimately, we are doing everything to bring down the EPI only. So so coming back to that, so if you are not preparing our HVAC properly, ultimately the EPI will be going high. So selection of HVAC is more important to bring down the EPI of a building. Okay, so let's go into more detail. So in this HVAC system, first thing we are going to see types of HVAC system which is available in the market, and what practically the people are using in the buildings, like in various type of buildings, hotels, so our discussion would be on the terminology and standards. Terminology in the sense the basic refrigeration cycles, and what was the COP. COP in the sense the efficiency which you will be telling for a cooling system. Same as for a motor, if you tell efficiency, you will be directly telling 96%. Same like cooling systems also having efficiency like COP. So those terminologies will be discussed, and various standards. So standards uh, are like the ASHRAE standards and the ECPC standards. So in these standards, why we have to mention this standards is we have to compare the COP level whichever system has been selected. For example, if you are selecting a split system, till whatever chiller if you are selecting, so what would be the COP to be maintained, that can be taken from the standards. So these standards also we will be discussing in detail in the detailed presentation. Plus additionally, what are the active design strategies available? So active design is the forced HVAC standards. People cannot speak longer. Okay, so active design strategy and system and controls. So this active design strategy, we are going to deal with the split systems and whichever the forced ventilation system, apart from any passive cooling. So passive cooling in the sense by provision of any shadings, or any evaporative cooling. Apart from that, whatever the forced ventilation system like VRF and chiller we are using, those uh, refrigeration cycles and how we are going to model in the equus. So these things we are going to analyze in the HVAC section. So in this, for example, this HVAC system, if suppose it's been decided, for example, chiller is decided for a building. So in Equus directly, you can't just give a chiller as an input and you can't take the result directly. So we have to model a chiller. So first we have to understand the system. What are the parts available in the chiller? So chiller will be having the compressor separately, and with compressor the evaporate this refrigerant cycle will be different, water cycle will be different, in which air side also will be different. So refrigerant cycle separately has to be modeled. Air side AHU system, which is inside coming inside the building, that also should be modeled separately. And water side, in which the pumps will be used to bring the chilled water from chiller to the AHU. So this cycle also need to be modeled. Plus additionally, if it's a water cooled chiller, then cooling tower has to be modeled. So for modeling this HVAC, we have to set part by part and we have to model it. So that's why it's very important to understand the HVAC system and how we are going to implement in the building. So these things has to be analyzed. Plus additionally, same like other segments optimizing option for HVAC also we'll be looking into the optimizing options. So in HVAC optimizing options, in the sense, different types of systems can be analyzed with the same energy model, and you can change the COP levels, plus additionally the thermal comfort. So that is the main thing, which Equist calls as the unmet hours. So to bring down this unmet hours, we have to have the provision of fresh air supply. So these things will be discussed in detail, and we'll be using the Equus to implement those things, and practically you can see what is the output you can get it from the Equus. Fine. This is about the HVAC system, and moving on to next is the Equus simulation. So here I've just kept in the last lecture, but whenever the detailed lecture is coming, so first we'll be covering the theory and we'll be implementing those things in the Equus software, and finally again the theory, then again the Equus software. So in this way the model has been scheduled. And to just have an introduction on Equus simulation, so we'll be giving the downloadable this URL to everybody. So this is a free software only, so in which worldwide acceptable software for the output whichever is generated by the Equus. Plus additionally, in terms of this Equus simulation, this is just a term they will be telling us garbage in, garbage out. So whatever input you are giving to this Equus model, so that is the output you are going to get. It will not be act as other softwares like Climate Consultant, for example, if you take. So if you just enter the weather file, so you can get an optimized value, what are the HVAC system or ventilation system you can use to bring down the thermal comfort. So, but in this Equus, there is no option of any optimized system. Everything is like whatever the input you are giving, that will create an end result in the Equus. So in this, no option for any optimized, like directly you can just click on the optimize button and directly you get the output like, okay, this system is the appropriate system for our building. So in this, there is various segments to be covered in the Equus. So one is wizard mode and second thing is detail mode. These are the two modes which is available in the Equus. So starting with the wizard mode. Wizard mode basically it's a 3D modeling in which a building floor plan will be given. So based on that, you will be creating an SLD. SLD is a single line drawing in which the outer shape of the building will be drawn. So we have to implement that, incorporate in Equus, and you have to model the 2D first. So outer profile of the building, and then the interior thermal zones of the building, So both has to be modeled, and 3D model has to be generated by giving the height for the building. First will be in 2D, then we have to give the height and we have to make it into 3D. Then once visual mode is completed, it has to be next it has to be taken to the detail mode. So in detail mode, maximum the inputs will be the equipment's loads, in which the lighting will be coming and the equipment loads. Plus additionally, the last and final, which is important, HVAC system. So before assigning the HVAC system, the system has to be modeled first. As I told earlier, that if it's chiller, then separate refrigerant cycle, water cycle, air cycle, everything has to be modeled separately, and it has to be implemented in the building, and we have to run the simulation and we have to get the output file. So once we get the output file, you can see various type of outputs. Lighting, what is the conception? I'll just show you a case study also next to this slide. You can see in that various conceptions of lighting, miscellaneous equipments, ventilation, fans, cooling system, heating system. So whatever the system which you want to look into a building to study the energy performance, so all the outputs can be generated, not only yearly, it can be generated hourly as well. So we can see hourly result basis, and we can analyze the building energy performance. So most important is analyzing the result. So that also will be done, because just getting output is very simple, but from that output, how we optimize the building energy performance, that is more important, which will be discussed in the detailed slides as well. So in case study, I just want you to show a video. So we'll have just look onto the basic model which we have done in our office. So this is a live model building which being proposed, and the construction is also going on. So this building is an office building. So here we start with the Equist. So this is like a free software, and you can directly download from the Equist website itself. And the main input for this is the one is building floor plans, SLD, and second thing is the weather file. So weather file also you can directly get it from the website. So in this weather file, you will get it in .epw file, which is not accepted by the Equist. You have to convert that into .bin, bin format of that weather file, and then we have to incorporate in the Equist. So those systems will be explained in the detailed presentation. So here I'll just tell you what are the steps involved in the Equist, and this is a real-time model, in which this is the starting of this Equist. So in which you can see project site, building shell, internal loads, HVAC water side, air side, and the utility analysis. So starting with the project and site.
Jaraj,
yeah.
Right now, what I don't think we are seeing what's on your screen. I am seeing a fifth lecture case study right now. So I'm not looking at the video right now.
Just a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, now can you see?
Have you stopped sharing your screen?
Yeah. Now it's coming?
Yes. Go ahead. Yeah. You can just, if you don't mind, just start again, and it will take you. Yeah.
We'll just, this is a small video in which we have done a case study of a real-time model. So starting with the first slide. So this is the starting when you just click on the equest, you'll get this screen in which from the left side, project and site, building shell, internal loads, water side HVAC, air side HVAC, and utility and economics. So in this below you can see building creation wizard. So this is the wizard mode in which 3D model has to be done. And later on the detail mode will be working on these segments. So starting with the project and site. So this is the box you will be getting. So in which all the floors wise modeling will be done. And what is the AC system which will be assigned in the each floor that will be given here. So in this you can see floors like up to this was up to 18 floors, I hope. So floor wise has been modeled separately, and the HVAC system has been assigned to the building. And next is 3D modeling. So this is the floor plan which we have got the SLD, and from that SLD we have just made the proper zone, outer zone, and internal thermal zones. So this will be done to make the 3D model. This is also a part of wizard mode. And next is the window placement. So after modeling the floor plan, the windows has to be marked as per the proposed building. So this we have to make it similar to the floor plan which have been architect has been prepared. So this glazing can be given by clicking onto the surface, outer surfaces of the building. So this is also part of wizard mode. So complete 3D model which is coming here. So this has been done in the wizard mode. So this is up to the building shell. The project and site details, including the weather and the project informations, plus the building shell, which is the thermal zone and the outer shape and the windows assigning placement, everything will come into the building shell. So basically, if you see this project and site building shell will be coming under the wizard mode. So after this wizard mode is completed, like a 3D model has been completed, then we can proceed with the detail mode, in which sorry, the lighting inputs will be given in the terms of watt per feet square. So also if suppose watt per feet square, if you can't able to calculate directly, the wattage can be mentioned here. There's also various options available with the eQuest. And you can see one tab lighting schedule. So schedule will be given hourly wise. For 24 hours, we can give a schedule for the every equipment. For example, this lighting, miscellaneous equipments, occupancy, availability, and the AC system when it will be on and off. So I'll just show you the screen in which 24 hours table will be shown. So this is about the equipments in which lighting will be coming, equipments load will be entered, everything. This has to be done based on our calculation or our inputs. So this is regarding to the internal loads, which is the lighting and the equipment. Next is the water side. So as I told here, this building is having 3 chillers, crew chillers. So we have modeled a chiller and we have modeled a cooling tower, and this is the zone AHU which is assigned for the each floor. So this is how we will be modeling in the water side. And this one is the boiler for the hot water generator. So this is for basically for heating, and this is for cooling. So this is just a sample which I have shown. So next is the, previously we were seeing the water side HVAC. Next is the air side HVAC. So air side is nothing but the HVA, that AHU unit. AHU in the sense the air handling unit, from where the air will be blown to each thermal zone, in which you can tell thermal zone in the sense the working stations or any conference room, meeting room, or any cabin, whatever may be the thermal zone. So to that, from the AHU, the air will be supplied to the thermal zones. So that has to be modeled separately in the air side. So after completing these all 5 sections, these are the most important 5 sections in which you have to incorporate all the proposed parameters. Utility economics is basically the study on the cost estimation. So if you just enter whatever the price per unit, so automatically it will convert how much is the payback period and what would be the life cycle cost, everything will be calculated in the utility and economics. So basically up to this HVAC system we are going to cover in the detailed presentation. And this is the schedule which I have discussed earlier. So this is, I have just shown you for an occupancy schedule. So from midnight to next 24 hours, all the schedules is being given. So whatever the operating time of our office or mall or retail or hostel building or hospital, whatever may be the building, based on that building type, a schedule will be assigned. Nowadays, the schedules has been defined in the standards as well. ASHRAE and ECPC as having their own schedules. So if we are going for any ECPC models, then those whatever the standards giving this given schedule, so that has to be directly implemented in this. So this one I'm just showing only for occupancy. Also, it is available for lighting, miscellaneous, then AC systems and fan operation. Everything will be given separately. And this one is the end result in which we are going to analyze the how to optimize the energy performance. So starting from this space cooling, ventilation fan, pumps and auxiliaries, and miscellaneous equipment consumption, then the lighting consumption, and the overall month-wise consumption, and this total would be the year-wise consumption. So from this only basically the EPA will be derived. So EPA, as I told, that's the consumption by the overall building area meter squared. If you just put it, so this is the per year consumption. So directly you can take the EPA of the building. So based on the EPA of the building, you can tell how good the building is operating in terms of energy. So I'll just play it again once. So this is just a glimpse. Yeah, fine. So this is about the case study. So I hope you can see the screen, right? I don't know.
Yes, yes, you can see. Go ahead, Jairaj.
Okay. Okay, fine. So this is the okay. So I've just shown you a real-time project in which all the parameters are incorporated as per the proposed conditions, and I've just shown you how to get the results, which is and how to analyze the results as well. So I just want to make sure one thing in detailed presentation, we'll be going every segment in more detail, and that discussion will be practically implemented in the software as well. So software link, then the building SLD and the building weather file. Okay, fine. So that's all about the introduction session.